Okay, what we're doing today, we're going to change the front brake pads on an Acura TL, and this particular model is a 2006. Let's get started. Okay, we've gone ahead and jacked the car up, taken the front tire off, and one other thing we're going to do before we get started is take the cap off of the master brake cylinder. We're replacing the brake pads with the Duralast C-Max. We got these at AutoZone, and they're the ceramic brake pads. You can get whatever you want for your car. These work fine. As you can see, we've taken the front wheel off. We've got our front brake caliper here. What we're going to focus on to start with is we're going to undo the upper bolt here, and then we're going to undo there's another one down here, the lower bolt. We've already unloosened the lower one, and we used a 9/16 ratchet socket here, and that was kind of hard to get off. So when you're using getting these bolts off for the first time, use some of this PB blaster. It really penetrates the grease and the rust, and it'll get. So let's go ahead and get our top bolt undone. And we've already got it loosened as well. We're going to pull these out all together, and what you want to make sure before you pull those out all the way is you go ahead and grab this firmly so it doesn't fall. Okay, what we've done, we've got our two bolts undone, upper and lower, and now we're going to go ahead and just slide this caliper right off. Comes right off from the brake disc here, the rotor, and be careful not to let this fall because you've got your brake line going. So I'm going to go ahead and put a bungee around here and hold this up so this doesn't fall, and pull on that brake fluid line. What we're going to do now is take the brake pads out. We're going to just pull it out of there. And as you can see, this brake pad is pretty worn. It's about less than halfway down. And we've got our shims in here. And we're going to go ahead and take the back brake pad out as well. You just pull it, just slide it right on out of there. And just kind of pay attention. I mean, it's obvious how it goes, but this is the back one. And it's pretty worn as well. Now, with these particular brake pads we're replacing, I went ahead and got some shims with it. You can get them with or without shims. It's a little more to get new shims. So we're going to take these old shims out, and we've got our new shims here, which we're going to go ahead and replace those in there. So we're going to do that next. When you put these new shims in, just make sure they've got little prongs here. They're bent out, and they're designed to slide right up against the caliper part here, and make sure they're not bent and they fit on there securely. We've also got a can of brake parts cleaner, and you can use this to spray and clean all the disc brake powder off of your disc brakes, and also around here the piston. It's clean all that area out. What we're getting ready to do next is we're going to push this piston back into its housing so we can slide it over the new discs or the new pads that we're going to put on. So what I usually do when we do that is just take one of the old pads, and we're just going to place that up against here, and then I have a large C-clamp that we're going to get, and we're going to just place that back here and tighten it up until that piston goes right back into its housing. So as you can see, we do have the C-clamp, and we've gone ahead and just tightened it up with using the old pad to make sure that piston is all the way back in its housing, and that way we'll have enough good clearance to put this back over the new brake pads. I forgot to mention also, make sure you get some brake lubricant and put this on all contact points. We're going to put some over here on the shims. Not necessarily that important on the outer part, but the inner part where the piston pushes it in, that's a good place to put the brake lubricant, along with this all along the piston area. And also on this other pad, we're going to show you a little later, we're going to put some on the back end of that pad, and that'll just reduce a lot of the friction. Okay, we've got our new brake pad here, which is ceramic. And we're going to go ahead and fit that into the shim, and just go ahead and slide it on in there. There you go. Okay, we're going to go ahead and put the other pad on the disc here, and we've gone ahead and put some of the lubricant on the back, as you can see, and we're just going to fit that in here and slide it in just like we did on the front. Alright, now what we've done is we've gone ahead and undone our bungee cord here, and we're going to place the caliper back over the brake pads. And as you can see, it's fitting on there pretty nicely. And there we go. Now we're going to go ahead and just put our bolts back in, the top and the bottom, and tighten them up, and we'll be good to go. Okay, we've gone ahead and got the tire back on, and we're going to go ahead and just make sure we don't need to fill up our master brake cylinder with any more brake fluid. And our fluid level was a little low to start, so we're looking good. I'll top it up a little bit later, but don't forget to put your cap back on before you hit the road. Well, hope that helped. Thanks for watching. Drive safe.